Okay, so I'm Lisa. So as Joe said, I'm from Keep Nethercote Rural. So Nethercote is a tiny hamlet on the edge of Banbury, and sort of very much like Mark was describing in his area, we basically record our biodiversity, enhance our biodiversity, and protect our biodiversity is kind of, you know, a quick sentence. So I'm going to talk about the City Nature Challenge. It's my technology is a little bit challenging with my screens and what's you have to bear with me. I'm conscious that different people have sort of different levels of what they already know about, so I thought that it'd be more productive to sort of whiz quite quickly through my presentation, and then anything that anyone wants to recap or questions, and we'd have more time for that, if that's okay. So if I share my screen, it's just on a PDF, I'm afraid, because I couldn't make my technology work. So as I mentioned, so we're going to talk about the Oxford City Nature Challenge, which it's hosted by TVERC, and I'm just going to talk about how to take part, but also why it's important to make sure that you not only know how to do it, but you want to do that as well. So the importance of biodiversity data, which obviously ultimately is what the whole thing is about. At the end result is to get more people recording. So wildlife conservation relies on data, knowing where particular species are, where they've been lost, and where they might potentially be at risk, informs efforts to protect them from the impacts of development, changing land use and habitat loss. It can also help sort of species specific projects to know where species might thrive, where enhanced habitat should be focused, or species reintroduction programs. So the local environmental record centres, the people that hold on to this data, they're responsible for collecting all the records from wildlife groups, naturalists, ecologists, researchers, as well as citizen science, and anyone can help to contribute to these records, which is really important that they do. So I always, because it's something that I'm really passionate about, I always just have a little thing on my slides to remind people that it's really important that when people are spending their time recording, that ultimately it does end up with the record centre. So these are some of the reasons why it's important to have your observations recorded, to have your biodiversity records. Your records, they'll be recorded for the future. So for example, things that we might think are common today, in the future they may not be, may need to know where they were, and those sorts of things. It ensures as many species as possible are documented in an official place. Less reliance on snapshot of ecology studies. So you have an ecologist may go and do an official study. Ecologists can't be in every place all through the year. So with the best efforts, that's going to be a snapshot. But there's always going to be species that aren't in season at that time. So all of those species would be missed and not been recorded if it's not ongoing through the year. Independence of the records, the more people that are recording. So somebody might go and have a look in an area and have a particular eye for certain species, but not such a good eye for other species. Somebody else may sort of fill in the gaps. So the more people that are looking for the different things, the more independent those records are. One of the examples that I like to use for that point is, I don't know if anyone's heard Julian Speak, who has done a lot of recording at the Abingdon Reservoir site. So that originally had some surveys done, and there was just one veteran tree recorded on the site, and Julian went on the site as a citizen scientist and recorded the trees that he could find, ancient or veteran trees, onto the Woodland Trust ancient tree inventory, and now there are 240 recorded veteran trees. So it just sort of shows what a what a difference and what an impact it can make. Of course, everything is used, all of the records are used when people are assessing development proposals, and it ensures that no seasonal species are overlooked. So then, what is the City Nature Challenge? So basically it started, I think it's the 10th anniversary this year, and it started off as a just sort of like a low-key competition between Los Angeles and San Francisco to see across 4 days which of the cities could gather the most observations. And then obviously over the last 10 years it's grown and it's blossomed, and it's now a global event, and they're expecting 700 cities to take part in 2025, and this will be the 3rd year for Oxfordshire taking part. So the first year TVERC ran Oxfordshire and Berkshire together, and then last year they separated them out, and that worked well. So that will be what happens for this year. And I didn't put it on my slide, but I just wanted to show you the leaderboard from last year. So I'm not sure how many cities took part last year, but here's Oxfordshire. So you can see actually quite sort of quite a good I forgot what the word is that I was going to use, but a decent innings there. But the highest was York with 12,877, and here's Oxfordshire. Obviously it's cropped where Oxfordshire sort of were, so I thought that was really good efforts, and obviously hopefully this year we can help to make it even better. So as I mentioned, TVERC are hosting the event, so quite often I would advocate using iRecord for recording, because it gets to the record centre quicker. It just misses out a step. But iNaturalist is very good for people that if it's a species that you don't know, it's very good at having a sense of community, because you get to sort of meet other people, have other people look at your observations. And as this particular event is being hosted by TVERC, they will be going through all of the records. So for this particular event, we don't need to worry about the sort of that extra step. So it's really easy to take part. You can do as little or as much as you can. So you literally download the iNaturalist app. It's free. If you're not a member, you just enter your email address. I'm going to show you a screen of what you need to do. Set your password, and then join the project. And then once you've got the account and once you've joined the project, literally any observation that you make when you're in Oxfordshire across those 4 days will automatically be included in the project. And again, I'm going to sort of show you some screens about that. So once you're sort of set up, you don't have to do anything other than add your observations, and then the app will do all of the rest for you. I've already talked about this. So I was skipping ahead on my screens. Just what I've already talked about, that although personally I'm more advocate iRecord, iNaturalist certainly does have its place, and I would always use it as well if I had a species that I wasn't sure what it was, because it's more so you've got that community that can help you. If you don't know what something is, you could literally record something, log an observation that you literally didn't know what it was, and just leave that blank. And so if anyone's not used iNaturalist, just some sort of screenshots of what it looks like, so you can see it's like nice and user friendly. You when you start adding your observations, it gives you either suggestions from the photo ID, or as you start typing that they come up, plenty of opportunity to look at those, the suggestions and compare them with yours, and then opportunities for other people to help you. So okay, here's my screenshots of registering for iNaturalist. So you can either download the app on your phone, or you can use the browser version. So obviously different people have different preferences. Obviously, the same as most things, it looks slightly different on the browser than it does in the app. But yeah, this is literally all the information that you need to put in, so you don't need to put in a whole load of information. One thing that I would mention is if you make sure that you leave the license my photos box checked. So basically, if you don't license your photos, it means that it limits the use that, so we're talking today about the City Nature Challenge and using iNaturalist for that, but ultimately the things that you enter, the observations that you make through that time will still filter through, and they will become valuable records for various things. If you don't license your photos to say that anyone can use them, it does restrict that use. So you know, so I would obviously suggest that you leave it checked for the maximum input. I was going to show you that one live, the joining a project. Just see what I had after that. Yes, so I was just going to show you live on the website. So this is obviously, as I say, it does look slightly different on, I'm just going to show you on the app, it will just look like this. But on the website, it's got a little bit more information. If you go on the browser, you can use a combination of both, because obviously once you've got an account, you can log into an app or to a browser. So you might sort of do your observations on your app, but then you might like to go onto the browser to, you know, sort of to see more about it. So obviously there's nothing in there at the moment, because we can see here the project requirements. And what that means is anyone that's joined that has that submits an observation, it will automatically be included. But obviously the date is the 25th of April to the 28th of April, which means that obviously nobody has submitted. We've not seen anything on the 25th of April yet, because it's not here. But what I have got is the community action group project. So this is one that's been up and running for a little while now. So this is you can see what it looks like then once the observations have been added. So I have put some observations on here. So people have done lots since I last did one, but let me just find to show you my. Oh no, my internet stops. Okay. Okay, so if we look here, so this observation, so I'm already a member of the CAG project. So I literally went onto the app, took a picture of this dronefly. I wasn't sure what type of dronefly it was. I just knew that it was a dronefly, so that's what I added my observation. And then you can see that somebody else came along and said that this is tapered dronefly. So I had a look at that, and what you can do is you can, if you click compare, it puts them side by side for you, so you can see your photo and the ones that are already in the database. And then I agreed, yes, that is what I agree, that's right. So I was then able to agree that, And now you can see that that has gone to research grade. So research grade is important in iNaturalist and does sometimes confuse people. So it doesn't mean that an expert's verified your record. What it means is that sufficient members of the community agree that that is what you think it is. So obviously the person that originally suggested this for me, I've agreed that I'm not an expert. I didn't even know which species it was in the first place. But now, because it's got 2 people that agree, that's gone to research grade. So different species have different numbers of sort of concurrences that they require. And what happens is once it reaches research grade, overnight, or I think it might be a little bit quicker even now, it filters through automatically into iRecord. And iRecord is where the expert verifiers are. So once it's verified in iRecord, that's where it would automatically filter through to TVERC. As I mentioned earlier, for this particular project, TVERC are monitoring it, so they will be pulling all of the records and make sure that they all get verified. But if I scroll down on my observation, you can see that it's automatically added it to the CAG Oxfordshire project. So any projects that I'm a member of, or sometimes you'll find ones that you're not a member of, somebody will add it to it. It will automatically add that information, that observation to the project. So it's not a duplication of the observation. You've only got the one observation, but it's just going off to it's sort of kind of been pulled out to be used in different ways. So once the challenge starts on the Friday, the 25th, then we'll start to see some sort of records appearing. So you can join it now, you can join it at any point. And I'll pop the link in the chat, because one thing that people find is that iNaturalist in the projects is not great for finding the projects. They don't always, sometimes you have to click it to type the exact name. Sometimes you can sort of type something along the lines and it will find it. So here's an example. This bankfold that I recorded, I've got a small mammal camera trap, and so I'm not a member of this camera traps project, but obviously somebody in that is interested in that saw that and added it. So all of these things happen without you having to sort of do anything. And then once the observations are sort of coming in, if I go back to the CAG project, this is how you'll be able to see how the challenge is going. So if you log into the project, my internet's quite slow, but you can see across the top here it's telling us how many observations have been added, how many species. So those are the things that we'll be looking for, and it tells you the top people, the top observed species. And as I say, you can just, even if you just pop a couple in, if you got a busy weekend, but you just have, sort of like, just even if you just see something in the garden, you think I've got no time to devote to this, but I just see a robin in the garden, to take a picture and snap it. So I'm just going to log into somebody's else's observation, so I can just show you how to do that. So if I'm not sure about this, they're not my thing without checking in my field guide. So I'm not actually going to click on it, but I would just click agree if I agreed what it was. And if I thought it was something different, I would click here, suggestion identification, and I would type in what I thought it was. And you can leave a comment here. So it's quite helpful. I certainly find with species that particularly if you're new to them or you're not sure on them, it's quite handy if people leave a comment of why they have suggested. And I think that is pretty much everything. Obviously I'm already a member, so it says leave here, but it would just say join, I think. So I got a flying around me. Yes, I marked it on the, oh, that's on the app, and yes, here it is. This is on the browser. So that will be what it looks like before you've joined, and then it would ask you on the browser to confirm you want to join. So it's really, really simple. So as I say, the really important things are to just have the iNaturalist account. If you have got one already, if you haven't, it just takes 2 minutes to join. Join the City Nature Challenge. Even if you think, oh, I don't know if I'm going to have any time to do anything, just join it anyway, because then if you do something, it will automatically be added. And